I haven't heard from Anya yet, but I know that Svetlana isn't coming, so we will make a recording so that
yeah, Anya is coming, I suppose.
so she will be able to catch up later.
We tried to talk today in the morning.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we choose voice messages because it's difficult to match the time for everyone, and we started the chat and spoke there. Yeah, so tried.
Speaking and sending voice messages might be a good idea, at least some kind of a way out. Sharing ideas, supporting each other. At the same time, a chat could be a good thing to send paragraphs and, to practice some writing or texting if you have time for that. Well, if we think of the previous week, what were the highlights of the previous week?
I don't know. I tried to keep balance. So there were some tasks to deal with at work, and so the family matters. So as spring comes, I'm doing checkup of my children's health. So, and we visiting some doctors, and having some tests. So everything is okay, but I suppose it should be done in order to keep me calm. We also, at the weekend, we managed to visit the theater in Saratov with children. It was The Adventures of Funtik. And that's the new
performance.
The new performance, that we have. And it's brilliant. Really, I was totally speechless at the end because so the actors performed so well that I could not help laughing and once even crying, because so they were amazing. My daughters really love this story, and they were impressed. So I could say that our performances, local performances, really are becoming better and better. So maybe because of the younger actors, so who like breathe the fresh air into their place, into the theater in general. So maybe the ideas are great, and so the ideas reflected, so reflect us. So, but still, it's a great pleasure.
Well, it's an interesting trend that you have noticed. I've been to the theater several times, and I see that the quality is really good. And some of my friends point out the same, that there are quite a few performances which are really good. That's really a positive trend, right?
Yeah.
Well, you remember the words of the character in Москва слезам не верит, that there will be only TV and all other forms of art will disappear, and it's vice versa. TV is disappearing, in a way, and there are a lot of other ways.
Yeah, but the internet is still very popular. But happily, I suppose the theater is very popular now. So it's difficult to buy the good seats, I'd say, and difficult
you need to book
get
in advance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so in winter, so we've got here in Engels once a year, we've got a premiere.
The premiere.
So they finish the season by the new performance, and we bought the tickets in winter for June because
it's difficult.
we don't have. So we've got one theater in Engels, and it's very difficult to get the tickets there. So it's very popular. Everyone goes. Everyone visits the theater. So my children, especially, they've got their favorite actors even. So they know all the names. And
I wanted to ask you if it's kind of difficult, or to find programs, performances that are suitable for different ages, because sometimes it's kind of clear that this is for a younger group, and this is for more older viewers. So organizing that might be. Do you face any difficulties? Are their interests different at this stage?
Yeah, as for me, I don't find it very difficult because, the difference in the age is 3 years. And so one is 3 and the other is 6. So they are basically interested in the same things. And so we try to choose the performances which suit to the younger ones. And so everyone can enjoy. But so still we've been to all the children's performances here in Engels, and practically all in Saratov. But my daughters want to, so they can repeat. So they want to visit the same performance, and they can do it twice or 3 times. We've got one performance that they visited, I suppose, for 5 times because they love it very much. So, and we try to change. So once it's me and my husband, and the second time maybe grandmother and grandfather. So for us not to repeat it all the time, but they enjoy. But my kids don't watch TV at all. And they don't watch cartoons, so that's their kind of entertainment, and so getting these positive emotions from the performance.
Hello.
Hello, Anya.
I'm really sorry.
That's okay. Don't. We're happy you are with us. So we are sharing the news as usual about the week and the most important things that happened. So how about you?
So I would like to start with the most challenging part. The act of leaving my daughter in the kindergarten this week and the previous week made and makes me feel nervous. I don't know, maybe the fact that she's disillusioned now.
Disillusioned?
Yeah,
in which way?
I mean, she realized that she hasn't got a chance to spend only half of the day in the kindergarten. And during our way to the kindergarten, she always starts to cry, and she tries to persuade me to get her from the kindergarten. So it's really difficult for me to deal with her mood, with her unstable emotional
condition, you can say.
Condition.
Well, and what makes you so upset about the kindergarten? Is it the regime, the people, the food?
I suppose she had been staying at home for about a month, and maybe this long holidays makes her feel makes her feel unstable.
Well, the difference can make you feel, emotionally unstable, or
Emotionally. Mhm.
you can say this way. But my point is that she, according to what you are saying, she loves
Uh-huh.
freedom more
Uh-huh.
than the
Maybe.
routine, because
Mhm.
sometimes kids miss friends, miss teachers,
Uh-huh.
miss, I don't know, toys,
Mhm.
events there, but she seems not to miss anything there, which means that there should be something that she loves more or she doesn't like about it.
Yeah, we have to. I'm trying to find the real answer. Yeah.
Mhm.
Some kids don't like kindergarten. I remember I didn't. My son didn't.
Mhm.
Well, my husband didn't. So there are a lot of people around who really don't like those places. So what about your daughters, Lena? Do they like kindergarten?
So actually, my daughters visit Montessori kindergarten.
Oh,
That
it's different.
it's different. It's for half a day, and they are happy. They happily go there every day, and at the weekend they miss the kindergarten because they've got their friends. They like cooking food there.
Mhm.
They enjoy different processes that are happening there, but that's, I suppose, a different place. I remember when my daughter was about 3, and there was a question between, so the choice between the usual
Mhm.
kindergarten and whether we can stay there at Montessori. She was absolutely petrified with the opportunity to stay for the whole day in the place, and she didn't want to sleep there or to eat
Mhm,
there.
mhm,
She was crying. She never visited the usual kindergarten, but she had a friend who did,
Mhm.
practically the same age. Maybe he told her, I don't know, but she was crying and saying, "Mom, please no, not let's don't let me, don't make me go there." Yeah.
mhm.
So
Don't make me go there. Yeah.
that's
Mhm,
why my daughters are in a different place.
mhm,
The choice was made also because I can spend more time with them, so
mhm,
I
mhm.
can change my timetable this way, so I can take them from kindergarten, spend time with them. So
Yeah.
because if that's late in the evening, we could not spend time together then.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, nowadays we have some choice, and making decisions,
Mhm.
is still difficult. Yeah, what
Mhm.
to choose and how to decide, whether it's just the mood, or maybe there is a serious reason behind, uh, you know, a certain behavior of our children. I want you to think of the places you like going to when you have free time. Well, Lena's talk about theater makes me think of a theater as one of a nice places that families can spend time together, like have spend quality time together, right?
Mhm.
So, are there any other places that you really value, or your family members love, going to?
That time has already started, and in this
Lena
case,
has mentioned that.
all our family members really enjoy, appreciate the idea of going and spend it productively, yeah, time in, in our villages.
So,
Mm.
are you a gardener? Do
Uh,
you have a garden, Anya?
um, my family have.
Has a garden.
Yeah. But
Who is the main gardener in your family then?
as usual, I suppose grandmothers, great grandmothers.
You know, sometimes these are grandfathers, sometimes these are husbands or wives. So it's different, really. So in
Yeah.
your family, is it your grandmother?
Yeah, my not my grandmother, but my husband's grandmother. Yeah.
I see.
So
Apart from dacha and gardens, you know, we are going to talk about reviewing different places today. So theater could be one of the options. Any other places? Maybe cafes, maybe
not
cinemas,
places,
maybe
but traveling in general. Yeah.
in general.
But
Places to
we've
visit.
got a favorite place here in our town. That's our embankment, and we enjoy going there in the evening. When we've got one kid, we live not far from this place, so it's a good idea to go there because we can walk, we can move, and enjoy the nature. So breathe some fresh air at least. So, and when we've got one when we got one child, we always put her into the I forgot, trolley, pram. But so okay, and she was sleeping while we were walking. Then we bought when we've got two kids, we bought the pram for kids for siblings. And now there are two kids there, so they are sleeping while we are walking. So our older daughter is so it's still okay. So the size is still okay for her. I suppose that's the last year when it could be. So we are enjoying ourselves walking along the embankment.
In this way, you just depend on the weather, right?
Yeah, the weather.
Okay. Well, speaking of holidays, Anya, what makes the holiday the most enjoyable for you, apart from the, you know, the destination, like if it's like something that you would like to see or you would like to visit. So what makes a holiday enjoyable? So it's still doing something, right?
Yeah.
Together. What makes it more enjoyable? How do you plan it?
Visiting my family, my friends, because we live in Balakov and part of my family live in Saratov. That's why when we have free time, especially on holidays, we always try to visit them. But the main problem is that I have never had a chance to visit Yelena. The problem, because when we visit our family, we have to meet with lots of family members.
I understand that.
Yeah, and in this case, it's a time. It's a great problem. Yeah, so in this case, maybe I really like to take maybe a course of time management. I don't know. So time is a great problem.
Yeah, free time is a problem, and no time management course can help that to solve that. I'm afraid. Don't. Well, I would disillusion you, but I'm sure everybody experiences the same problem, that we set priorities and make choices because time flies and we don't have enough for everything. Well, you've mentioned the theater and that it has changed, Lena. In which way what positive changes can you observe now? If you compare theater now, theater for, let's say, junior audience, or maybe for adults. And Anya, you say that you come, regularly visit Saratov, right? So do you observe any changes in the city at large? Can you think of the changes that you notice? In which way it is changing, or it has changed?
About the theater, I suppose it has become more focused on the viewers. So everything is they try to make everything more available and comfortable for the visitors. In general, the quality of performance is higher.
It has improved. Okay.
Yeah, the actors really perform very well. And I suppose the directors of the place, so they choose very interesting and modern
stories.
Even if the stories themselves are not so modern, they try to change them. So we visited the drama theater, Anna Karenina it was, and it's very modern. As for me, too modern performance, because I reread the book, and then we went to see the play, and so I was astonished by what was happening, but still it was fascinating and interesting. So give us ideas what to think about.
Evocative,
yeah, it was.
Somehow it was very provocative. Yeah, really provocative.
Not provocative, evocative.
I suppose provocative. That was
like the best word. So it was evocative, but it was a bit provocative. Maybe. Okay. So what about this? Your observations, Anya?
Comparing two cities, I mean, Saratov and Balakova. So I observed. No, we know it. So there are lots of different kinds of places, activities places to visit in Saratov. But talking about the nature in general, so I chose Balakova. I mean, the way you can get to the exact place. No, I can spend for about I don't know 15 minutes and get to the place I work. I mean the building. So in this case, it's comparing these two parts.
Reaching places is easier because it's smaller.
Yeah, the same as with Engels. But Saratov has changed a lot, and they made great improvements on the embankment and reconstructed different buildings. Yeah, they look very beautiful, and it's pleasant to visit the city center.
I'm into minds because there is a huge amount of new block of flats, and they don't I mean the headmasters of the city how to say
Council, local council, no?
Yeah,
Local
local council.
authorities, you can say
Authorities,
yeah.
I suppose they don't think about transport system properly because of the
It's
traffic.
it's overloaded and they're all, you know, the traffic is bad.
Overcrowded, yeah.
Well, I see. Well, today we are going to talk about different places and how we review different places. But before that, think about the word amount and number in connection of a lot. Look at this. In speaking, we tend to use the word a lot of people, a lot of places, a lot of facts, a lot of news. But if we use number or amount, so how would we distinguish between the two?
Amount.
There is a trend that we start using amount a lot more, but which one is with countable, which one is with uncountable?
Amount with uncountable, number with countable.
Yeah, well, if we say, у меня много студентов, которые увлекаются английским.
A number of
I have a big number of, fortunately, I have a big number of students who are interested in English. Well, then we would use number. Again, there is a trend that amount is being used a lot, but still in writing, and if we focus on grammar, I would distinguish between the two. Well, when we talk about the word amount, what could we use amount with?
Amount of time.
There is a lot of a lot of information. There is a big amount of information I have to work with, or the amount of time I spend doing something. Okay, right. So please open your books at page 76. Here we have a number of places. Look at 1A. You know, we focus mainly on local places. Anya, in your case, you can think of something you know in Balakova or Engels or Saratov, your choice. You don't have to focus on one place specifically. By the way, if we compare, well, when we teach that to our students like Saratov, Balakova, Engels, our students sometimes get confused because we use the word this hometown, about any place. Well, how do you teach the difference between city and town? What do we call a city and what do we call a town?
No, Balakova is a town.
Moscow is a city.
Moscow is a city.
What about Saratov and Engels?
Towns, yeah?
Well, Saratov is a city because it's about 1 million people.
I thought it had less.
Well, it's 1,000 people is still a lot. So it's usually about the size, but actually it's more about the population. And this is what I tell my students, guys, when you are not sure about, think about the number of people, the number of people who live there. That's why, well, you would probably call Engels a town, Balakova is a town, but Saratov is still a city. Because when you say Saratov is a town and a foreign visitor comes, it doesn't look like a town because of the infrastructure and facilities and, the size actually. Well, back to the topic. Give yourself a score for each place where 0 I know nothing about, 5 I know a lot about it. So what about cinemas in your place?
Number 10, places for children.
Okay, a lot. So
Anya, have you got a cinema in Balakova?
Yeah, of course. But the tricky thing is that I have never visited cinema in Balakova.
have never been there.
Yeah, I have never been there.
I've got the cinema opposite my house, but we've been there, I don't know, maybe 5 times.
I see. Well, places for children, what would that be? Playgrounds?
Yeah.
Different playrooms, yeah, that they could visit, like
Mhm.
activity centers.
Uh-huh.
Places for children, can we mention educational things here?
Kindergarten.
Yeah, probably. Why not? Like extra
So,
clubs. Yeah.
Different clubs, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. What about places with live music? Are there any? So what is your score, your personal score here?
So, you know, my brother is a musician. Oh, yeah. That's why when we have a chance, we like going somewhere, finding new places for us, enjoying. Yeah.
What would be probably the best way of saying that? Because you try to find it on the internet, or you try to find it, by questioning people around, or I don't know. Maybe exploring, yeah?
Yeah, exploring.
Exploring. So, well, which places would, be 5? When you give yourselves a score of 5, I know a lot about them. Places for children, live music.
You know, practically every place, because we've got a very small town, and we've been living here for such a long time, so that we know a lot.
Any places that you know very little, maybe not nothing, but very little about?
I suppose sports events, but maybe you know more. Because
so when we've got an event in our town, so everyone knows about it. I don't know how it works, but it's so small that so somewhere on the social media you can read easily about the following events. So that helps.
What is the equivalent in English for like сарафанное радио? I'm interested.
The word of mouth.
Okay.
Okay, this is something that the best advertising, yeah?
Yeah.
When you hear some good, and what actually you hear from friends and family? Yes, reviews. You read reviews, but actually when people go somewhere, they share their observations, their experience, their comments, and these are reviews. Yeah. Well, in real life, what are reviews for?
Advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, to
help
to help decide, or to make a choice, or to recommend something, weighing. You remember the word weigh, yeah? Weighing advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
Well, which place to choose, where to go, what to see. Yeah, if we talk about the verb, we weigh things, yeah? And the noun would be weight. Well, here we have 5 short reviews. Look at them, and can you identify the places? What could be these words, these comments about? So
The
we are
first
go.
is
Well, have a quick read,
okay.
identify, and then we'll compare, because some things, these are suggested answers. We don't know for sure. I'd like you to compare, you know, what the places might be about, or events. So what about A, Anya? What do you think it is?
Maybe it's a cinema. We've got some keywords. Blockbuster, cast, all-star cast, entertaining, talking about some, entertaining.
And so showing, maybe it's a huge shopping center with the cinema inside.
No, maybe.
Because
Maybe.
we've got Megaplex, maybe that's the name
of the play.
shopping center.
Well, look at B. It's number letter B.
I
So,
suppose that's cafe.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got the name, and
furnishing combined, simple furnishing.
Atmosphere, that's what we usually use to describe the place.
Calm, relaxing atmosphere.
Okay, so what about C?
City Hall. City Hall.
Yeah, it's definitely about the city hall, and something there. And what kind of event? It's not about a place, not only about a place, but an event.
Like a concert.
Concert, live music event.
A live music event. Okay.
We can say that's the concert hall. That's the place.
Well, what about D, Anya? What do you say?
So I suppose it's like an activity center, a sports center, a sport club, gym.
Probably. So how do we know that it's a sports center?
Because there are lots of facilities.
Workout rooms.
Workout rooms.
Where you
and then
can
pool, sauna,
a Turkish bath.
and something for relaxation. Okay. And the last one, Lena, what do you say?
I suppose that's the kind of art gallery, the exhibition, because we've got the description of the watercolors, the different colors of the painting, and what it evokes.
Okay, yeah, true, absolutely. So before we move on, focus a bit on the language. Well, when something is genuine, in this context, what could it be about genuine?
Genuine.
So genuine, that's usually very intelligent, and so here, perfect.
Well, genuine, usually we would say like genuine leather or genuine material.
Qualified.
Yeah, very, you know, natural, good quality. Yeah, and here it's the like, good quality. Yeah, it meant probably. Yeah. Okay. Well, if we Anya pointed out the word furnishing, simple furnishings. What is meant by furnishings here?
Furniture.
Furniture, yeah.
Maybe
The tables
design.
and chairs.
Design, because sometimes this is tables, chairs, and the walls, the way they are decorated, like because I think we know the word furniture a lot, but if we talk about materials on the walls, well, it's difficult kind of to say, but here furnishing is a wider concept, right? Well, and look at the last one. So some kind of painting evokes a sense of melancholy and foreboding. Well, do we remember the word foreboding, or do we know it? It's a feeling when you think something is going to happen because you see the reasons. Something is happening now or is going on. This is a feeling of foreboding, it is definitely going to happen, and you have this feeling that it will happen. Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to listen to the speakers. There will be 5 conversations, and I want you to note down some words that will help you match the speakers with those 5 places or 5 events. So they will talk about different things, but there will be definitely some ideas that like match or overlap. Okay.
Track 3.17. 1.
Well, I thought she sang wonderfully. What an amazing voice. I don't know how she does it.
Yes, she really is great.
I think it's one of the best productions I've seen here.
So it should be for that price.
Well, she is quite a big name.
2.
Interesting, but why all those gloomy colours?
Yeah, a bit depressing, weren't they? I thought the early landscapes were the best. They were more colorful.
Yeah, I like those. They were quite lively.
3.
Nice here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places. I often come here after work. It's so relaxing.
Yes, I hate those places where all the tables are crammed together and you can't hear yourself speak.
Yeah, me too. So, what shall we order?
Four.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, great special effects. Pity it wasn't 3D though.
Yeah, it was cool, that bit where he jumped out of the helicopter.
Yeah, and landed safely. Don't know how he did that.
5.
Oh, I really needed that. I haven't worked out for over a week. I've just been sitting in front of the computer every day. I've been getting so unfit. Nice place.
Yeah, they've got a good range of equipment. Good trainers, too.
Have you been a member long?
Yeah, let me see. Next month, I'll have been coming here for exactly a year, I think. So, about a year, yes. I come here most afternoons. It's not so full then.
Oh, well, maybe I'll join.
So did you match all of them? Are there any places that we're not sure about? Okay, then let's have a look. So number 1, what was it about? And so which words helped you decide? Anya, what do you say?
So I suppose they are talking about the music hall, about the singer.
So its major is
no, so
C.
C.
C. So
Yeah.
they mentioned
Mhm.
some words like amazing voice,
Mhm.
quite a big name, the
Mhm.
best singer.
Mhm.
One of the best productions they have.
True. So, Lena, what about number 2? What was that about?
So number 2 was about the art gallery. They discussed the gloomy colors, and this picture is quite depressing. And the man said that the landscapes were much better because they were more colorful.
Lovely.
So if we have to match that, that would probably
That's E.
E. Yeah, like well, the speaker said, depressing colors, and he would say like predominantly dark green. So when something is predominant, what is meant here?
There are more this color than anyone else.
Yeah, the one that dominates.
Dominate.
Yeah. Okay. The number 3, Anya. What was that about? Which word help you decide?
About a restaurant. So they were talking about a nice, relaxing atmosphere. So they would like to order
some food. So that matches probably, B, right?
Yeah.
And when the place is cramped, they use what is meant?
So different, a lot of groups of people, are sitting together, so you don't have opportunity to have a private talk.
Yeah. And also when, for example, there are a lot of pieces of furniture and there is very little space. It could be not necessarily about a cafe. It could be about a room in general, right? So number 4, Lena, what was that about?
So number 4 was about A, that's the cinema. They mentioned great special effects, though it wasn't 3D. And so they discussed how the character jumped out of the helicopter and landed safely. That's it was blockbuster.
And the last one, Anya, it's kind of clear that it's D, but which words helped us decide that this is?
If I'm not mistaken, the woman, mentioned that she really needed to do some activities because she's so unfit.
Unfit. Yes, true. And the gentleman what was he doing?
So he said that he visits this place for about a year, and he mentioned great equipment and trainers.
Good trainers.
So he tried to persuade her to
participate.
What do we do? Like when we go to the gym or the club, we
to buy membership.
To become a member and to become buy a membership card, probably, right? But if you think of your books, which word do they use? The very easy way to join a club, because to buy a membership card sounds like a bit heavy, but though it's understandable and perfectly correct. But to join the club or to join the center or whatever it is. Right. In real life, ladies, do you read reviews? I understand that you listen to friends and take mental notes. If somebody goes to a cafe and then comes back and say, oh, it's a nice place, you take a mental note. Oh, it's a nice place to go for a coffee or for a snack. But what about reviews, written reviews? Do you read those?
So my husband always do this, especially when we trying to choose the new place to visit or choose the hotel.
True, about hotels, yes.
So it really helps to make the right choice. But as for me, I never write the reviews.
Today you will.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So your husband is well read by the end of the research and knows where to go and what to book. Okay, Lena, what about your family?
So as for our family, in our family, that's me who always reads the reviews. And so I always read the reviews when I buy something online. Because it's very important, or you can get the wrong size or the wrong quality. So that's why I always read. The more reviews I read, the better, I suppose, because
some reviews are
are false.
Positive, some are negative, some are false, some are well, if you can't decide. You remember the word misleading when you read and you can't understand. Well, is it good or bad? Sometimes they can be misleading. So, but they help you understand.
They help me understand in general whether I want to try to buy this thing or not. And when I choose to read what to read, when I choose the new book, I always read some reviews beforehand.
And what about cinema, films?
Yeah.
Do you watch trailers and read reviews?
Of course, yes.
I never read reviews before watching the film, because there could be some spoilers, and I don't want to know what will happen.
But do you use Kinopoisk? I mean
yeah. And then they also have. I very often rely on that. They have this rating.
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 Rating, yeah. I rely on the rating too.
Because sometimes when the rating is very, very low, you might
it's definitely not worth seeing.
Disappointing, yeah. The film might be disappointing. So films, things to buy. What kind of reviews does your husband read, Anya? Hotels, you said? Anything else that we...
Food.
Food,
Food places to visit.
And where do you usually read reviews? Where?
From Yandex Map.
Yes, true. I remember I really relied a lot on Booking reviews, the international site.
Booking.
But now it's not working. And I realized that I once trusted Astravok, and it's not reliable. So I got disappointed with the hotel I booked there, but reviews were really good. And now a lot of people write reviews on Yandex Maps, like cafes, hotels, different places. So do you trust those reviews?
Basically, yes. Yes.
They could be very different, positive and negative. There should be a balance. They can't be all positive. So you can't trust it when it's all positive. Yeah.
For some people, it's really important to have a variety of food for breakfast. But basically, what do we usually eat for breakfast?
Well, it depends. Some people think breakfast is important, or they have choosy members of the family. Yeah, and if it's difficult to feed children, for example, it could be, I don't know, if they have good breakfast, but you can't choose with kids. I remember my son when he was little. He wanted to look at the food. before he ate it, and it was important to find a place where he could look at the food.
Okay.
Well, otherwise he's hungry. And what do kids do when they are hungry?
Eat sweets usually.
They eat sweets. They moan all the time.
No, yeah.
Yeah, they start moaning and they are unhappy. When you travel, it's a big problem. And
Yeah,
right. Have you ever written a review, Lena? Anya hasn't. What about you? Have you ever written a review?
I remembered one case. When we visited the private swimming pool here in Engels. They asked me to write a review on Yandex Maps, or Yandex or Google Yandex, I suppose. Yeah, and I've written the review there. Yeah, sometimes I've recently taken a course about being a Montessori teacher of English, and after finishing this course, I was also asked to write the review. When I buy something online on the internet, I never do that because I suppose I don't have enough time. But if it's something important and closely connected to me, of course, I will give my feedback and write a review.
I see. Okay. Well, and on Wildberries or Ozon, when you buy things, do you read reviews?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like
Yes.
so you see,
and watch the photos, especially when you order the clothes. Yeah,
I don't write reviews there, but I always read, and I say, well, good that some people, really find time to take pictures, to post them, to write something. Okay, so have a look at this publication on page 77, the upper part of the page. Well, so here, the advertisement. What are the requirements for the job? Look at if you write reviews, what are the requirements? And here we have an example.
You need to be in touch with arts and music. A strong interest in what's going on locally.
So how are they going to attract people to write reviews?
They're going to a small fee and other benefits such as free tickets to events. Yeah, so the free tickets to events sounds
more
attractive, more attractive than a
more
small fee.
attractive. But usually when we talk about a magazine or a publication, well, I don't know, edition or something, there are some people who are the members of the team, but they usually invite somebody from outside, like freelance workers, and the fee is definitely not high. So, well, if you were given a chance to write a review on something like here, have a look at the topics. So, what would you choose to focus on?
I would definitely choose the theater because it's closer to me, and we often visit the theater of performances. So.
Anya, what do you say?
I will choose maybe a film.
Why is that? Why is that?
So I really like watching films in my free time, especially the ones that give me positive emotions.
Which is very evocative, yeah?
Yeah, evocative, yeah. The ones.
Or evokes, positive Emotions, yeah. Right. So here we have a lady, Helen Biggs, who has written a letter. And what kind of letter do we call this kind of letter? When here there is an advertisement and you want to, what do you do? You want to apply for a job. You know, even if it's
Application, letter of
a letter of
application.
application, exactly. So have a look at it very, very quickly and tell me if she's a good candidate. And if yes, then why? Let me know if you're ready.
I'm ready.
I suppose, yeah, we are ready.
So what do you say? Is she a good candidate? So is she suitable for the job?
Yeah, she is.
Yes, absolutely.
Why, Anya? Why is that?
So she's in touch with lot of local events and artists. She played an active role in organizing different kinds of events, such as exhibition of local photography. So while writing a dissertation, she has been able to establish contact with several musicians.
So here in the request, in the advertising, well, we have this specific focus, be in touch, yeah, and have a strong interest. And the way we can demonstrate that, the way we can show it, depends on the choice. And this is the way this candidate describes, yeah, your interest and connection. Well, what we are going to do a bit of analysis of formal letters. If you remember, you know, clearly that younger candidates at B2 level don't usually write formal letters. But if it's like B2 adults, exams for adults, they might be asked to write formal letters. At C1 level exams, for example, you have an essay. This is a compulsory paper. And then you have a choice of a letter, a formal or informal, a report or proposal, and a review. Reviews are creative, but they usually take more time. And there should be more descriptive language. You remember we talked about descriptive language in the previous lessons. Because the time is limited, you have to create something and then find a way, find time to describe it. Formal papers are very straightforward and very, very clear. That's why a lot of candidates, if you are considering taking an exam in, I don't know, in some future, you know, consider formal papers as transparent, understandable, and usually they take less time to compile, to organize. And that is the reason why people choose them. The problem with some candidates is that they think about themselves as real candidates. And my suggestion is don't. So it's a good idea to analyze the task and then think of the best way to express, to organize ideas, why an abstract candidate could be good, what kind of qualities he or she should have to be able to, you know, be considered, to be suitable for the job. And that's the best strategy, I think. For example, this is a very, very detailed letter. An exam paper would be shorter, 220, 250 words, and here we have 300 words. So a lot, you know, usually it's like 4 paragraphs, but still here we have 6. I want you to think a little bit about how she chooses to organize ideas, what to start with, how to support it, how to develop, and how to finish the letter. Here you have some suggested, you know, topics for paragraphs. Match the paragraphs with their purposes. Like by topics, I mean like the main idea. Take a moment, go back and look at the paragraphs. Ready? Anya, are you finishing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, the first, we have 2 paragraphs, right? 2 boxes. So which paragraphs would those be? To give examples of relevant experience. Lena,
Number 4 and number 5.
Yes, absolutely. Number 4 and 5. So to state her qualifications, Anya.
Number 3.
Yes, absolutely. So then to demonstrate enthusiasm.
Number 2.
Yeah, pay attention to that. That first we show that we're willing to apply this. We show the enthusiasm. And then we talk about qualification. But these should be at the beginning of an email, because a formal email could be about different things and you should clearly see the topic. Is it possible to skip this demonstrating enthusiasm? Like
it's
you should.
Not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, but it could be shorter or in a more wordy way, but still it's a good idea to demonstrate enthusiasm. So then what about the next point, Anya? To summarize her strengths would be
Number 6.
Absolutely. And finally, to state the reason for writing. This is something that is important to start with. We always start with the reason. Then we might briefly comment that we are really willing to do something, and qualifications are important. Again, here with qualifications, it's important to set, to show how good you are, right? And it's not about you personally. You usually in exams, or you usually invent emails, but try to sound realistic. So, for example, paragraph 4 and 5 are, quite detailed. If you write a bit less, you might shorten some of the points, some of the examples, right? So what makes a formal letter different from informal?
The style.
The style. What is meant by formal style?
The rank of words, phrases.
So the choice of the phrases and
the choice
how
of
we
words.
start and finish the letter.
So when we talk about the choice of the language, is it what makes an email to a friend sharing the news and this letter of application different? So the style is more emotional or more reserved?
More reserved.
More reserved. So we use probably emotionally colored words, but tend to be neutral words. We could be informal, formal, and could be semi-formal. Yeah. Sometimes, for example, we face problems with informal letters because we sound neutral. And if you sound neutral, it's a good idea to stick to neutral, a bit more formal style. But for example, we don't use a lot of slang. We are teachers, we talk to students, we sound a bit academic in real life, or maybe even in Russian. So it's a good idea to choose the paper in, for example, Cambridge exams that fits your style, that you don't make a lot of effort to formulate. Another aspect of formal style, think of grammar and punctuation. So you remember contracted forms. What do we know about?
We don't use contracted forms.
Yes, we never
and we don't use exclamation marks.
We avoid exclamations, like emotional, expressions, ways of expressing ourselves. Right. So if it's a formal letter, how do we start it?
Dear.
Dear. And what comes after dear?
So, madam, or name and surname, if we know.
Mr., Ms., and the name. We don't usually use the first name. We start
the surname.
The surname, or the name and the surname. Or dear sir or madam, right? And how do we usually finish?
Yours faithfully, words.
Yours faithfully. And you remember that in the English language, we have two equivalents for Russian phrase с уважением.
Yours
What are those?
Sincerely.
Yes. What is the difference?
With faithfully? I don't know. I've always thought that that's the same, and you can choose.
Look at this. So in the chat, you have this yours sincerely, and here you have yours faithfully. It's a kind of strict rule, used to be. The trend is it's changing, but you notice that in some books, if you don't know the name of the person, you usually finish your letter with yours faithfully. But if you usually know the name of the person, dear Mr. Jones or Mrs. Johnson, or Ms., yours sincerely, then you look at the samples, you notice that more often faithfully goes with the person whom we do not know. We know that there is a position in the company, and we don't know the name of the person. But, well, in real life, when we write emails, like semi-formal emails, So what can we finish, like real life, not exam papers? We can say kind regards or with best regards. They are like semi-formal, because emails tend to be less formal, right? And usually it would be probably the second or the third letter. If it's the first, we stick to yours faithfully or yours sincerely, and then there is a trend that it's becoming less and less formal. Let's focus a little bit on the choice of words. We started with that. Have a look at this B options. Here we have neutral or more informal equivalents. I would like you to go back to the text and highlight the synonyms, like I want to write for your magazine, which sounds a bit simple. It's not informal, but it's a bit simple. And what is the phrase in the text?
I would like to express.
Yeah, you see, it's not always about the choice of words. It's very often about the choice of structures, right? I would like to express my interest. It's a bit more wordy. Take a moment. Have a look at 2, 3, 4, and 5. Are we ready? Okay. So what about just great?
Well written and informative.
Extremely well written and informative.
Extremely.
Yeah. Okay. So what about I really love the way you gave.
I especially admire your policy of providing a platform for young generation.
The way, and here's the policy, I love, I admire. So about, like an easy preposition.
On the topic of.
Yeah. Anya. On the topic of art and music. So very often, like here, it's a mental note that you notice these things, because it's easy to say about, but you can easily change that. On the topic of, a bit more wordy. So I really love the way you give a chance. Sorry. I think artists around here are doing exciting work.
My knowledge of local artists who are producing exciting work.
Yeah, producing. Instead of doing work, producing work. They should be better known.
Deserve to be more widely.
Look, widely recognized. Yeah, popular, well known, and here we have more formal equivalent, recognized, right? Well, instead of about, here, for example, on the topic, and look at this one, it covered themes like instead of included or it's about such themes as, this is also one of the options, one of the ways of doing this. And when we tend to choose more formal piece of writing, do we use you know, adjectives, or verbs, or nouns? Look at, for example, paragraph 6.
Nouns.
These would be interesting. Instead of interesting, you would say would be of great interest to you. I'm involved, we would say, yeah, in real life. My contribution of academic and local involvement. So very often these are noun structures to sound a bit more formal. Actually, the wording might be the same, but the parts of speech. I have qualifications, I'm well qualified to do, or, you know, infinitive structures to express, you know, some interest or some positive attitude or whatever it is. Well, this contribute or contributor, contribute to something sounds really good, you know, like I would be suitable for the job. Guys, do you teach in, you know, any ОГЭ students?
Not this year.
Not
I
this year.
refused.
Okay.
Well, I was teaching, I taught last year, and I understood that took too much effort from me.
I see.
I refused.
I see. Look at this, at the grammatical structure. We tend, in formal piece of writing, we tend to use, you know, repeated actions or factual information more. So if we kind of calculate, as if we calculate, there will be more present simple structures. And look at this structure, I look forward to hearing. Actually, we can write both. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to hearing from you. But I look forward sounds more formal. Present simple sounds more formal. Besides, why I have mentioned this, in ОГЭ, if our students use this phrase in present simple, it will be considered as a mistaken style. В рекомендациях, я прям по-русски переключу, чтобы обратить на это внимание, у них прописано, что если ребенок на А2 выучил эту фразу, они за нее его поощрять не будут, если только она не написана в present continuous.
То есть у них только I'm looking forward, да, возможно?
Потому что они письмо, имейл другу пишут. Да, и вот этот момент, знаете, когда мы, например, благодаря западным учебникам научили ребенка классно писать, его за это не поощрят. Вот этот момент будет очень такой специфичный. There is a trend that it's more formal and present simple is more formal, but in ОГЭ papers, it would be considered as a kind of a mistake. Well, the point is that in ЕГЭ papers, they usually have some questions and they don't have enough words to finish using some structures, like with a lot of words. And sometimes students memorize, drill certain phrases and then use them. That's why if we teach them to memorize certain phrases or we drill certain phrases, make sure that we teach them you know, things which are kind of considered to be correct in our system. Well, if you were asked to write something like this, would it be easy or difficult for you?
You know, to write something is always difficult for us because we don't write too much in real life.
Well, I, you know, have mentioned that at the beginning of the lesson, Anya, that sometimes, as long as you have a chat, you can write some messages to you to practice a bit of writing. And this is more focusing on the form, you know, like when slips of the pen or misprints or trying to restructure, it could be a good idea to write something to each other. Well, and for a moment before we move on, there's 50 amateur photographers. Who are amateur photographers?
We had this word, amateur.
They are not professional. They just do it as their hobby.
Do you have any people around you, like members of the family or friends, who are amateur photographers? Because photography has become a popular hobby.
My husband's sister tried to become an amateur photographer, but it was quite difficult to combine her main job and it. So now she just takes photos of the members of the family and her dog.
I see.
But she had the professional digital camera, so.
The quality is usually very good. I see. Can I ask you to turn very quickly to page 172, where you have some extra phrases, extra chunks. Formal letters given a positive impression. Here we have this. And with formal writing, I think certain phrases, cliches of formal letter could be really helpful. Like, I'm writing in response. I'm very much in touch with, you see, I'm in touch. I'm very much in touch with emphasis. Or please find attached. And if we look at the letter on page 77, so she writes, I attach a sample of something. And this is a very common cliche, find attached, especially if it's an electronic form of writing. So it could be a resume, a paper, or anything, e-attachment. So here we have some phrases. For example, look at sentence 1 right now. So which phrases you would probably cross out because they are less formal? Cross out one which is in the group.
I would cross out guess.
Why?
Because it's
because we need to sound more confident.
Believe and I'm certain sounds. And then, for example, write and contribute. So usually more general words are kind of simpler. So we tend to use more complex. So focus on number 2. Which would you cross out?
Answering.
Reply.
Reply is more formal.
More formal, answering them.
And then?
Was.
Appear.
Was. What the hint is that do, was, be, they are widely used in different languages. Well, in different styles, types of register. That's why they are kind of neutral. 3. I look forward to hearing.
In a bit.
Yes, in a due course. So sounds way more formal than in a bit. Number 4.
Arial pen.
Of course. Okay. Number 5.
Here are. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you have a choice between personal or impersonal, go for more impersonal language. Here are okay, 6. Which one?
Loads of.
Of course. 7.
Free anytime. Хотя у нас.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm free anytime. I'm available. I am completely flexible. Would sound more formal, of course, than I'm free anytime. So, and number 8, what do you say?
Picked up.
You remember that phrasal verbs? Yes, phrasal verbs are less formal usually. We try to avoid phrasal verbs, neutral verbs, like simple, easy words which have a lot of which are the parts of local a lot of structures. With formal writing, to improve your formal style, the most effective strategies: highlight the phrases, focus on using some, and then adding more. Like emphasizing that you try to sound a little bit more complex in terms of structures and number of words, and less informal. Right. So we are about to finish now. At home, I'll ask you to revise the language of the unit, and there will be an optional task to practice writing. We don't have, encourage you to give constant feedback on writing, to practice writing a lot, but as long as we have very few students, we can, let you practice with writing a bit more. But if you are, are feeling like practicing, try to write something and then send it to your study buddies. Because when you notice other people's mistakes or good ideas, you learn from each other. Okay? So we stop for, let's say, 10 minutes, and then we'll resume the session on motivation.
Thank you.